Website builders like Wix, Squarespace, and WordPress are pretty popular, yet thousands of local and small business owners and service-based professionals are ditching them because of these three big reasons. In this video, I'm going to show you how those big box website builders might actually be doing more harm than good for your local business. I'm going to show you the real hidden cost of these website builders and an alternative that you can try instead. So first, the big problem. Drag and drop website builders are often marketed as easy to use, simple to set up. But in reality, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have some design background, it is really hard to make a very good looking website. As soon as you start customizing a template, you'll find that there are thousands and thousands of little customization options and tiny little menus that you have to go into to tweak things to make things look right. And all of a sudden, just moving a little text block down the page becomes a 3-hour journey of bugs and looking up questions and submitting support tickets, of which you rarely get a human response if you get a response in a timely manner at all. The other thing is that most of these website builders are set up for global SEO. And if you don't know, there's a difference between the way Google treats local businesses and global businesses. So if you're a fashion brand, for example, and you sell clothing online all over the world, then something like Wix or Squarespace or even Shopify is a good option for you because you have lots of inventory and you're trying to appeal to a very large global audience. However, if you just have a local net, and let's say you're a psychologist or you're a cleaning service, well, Google doesn't view your site the same way and it doesn't treat SEO the same way. But these website builders are all geared towards those big businesses. Next, loading times are incredibly long, and that really hurts your SEO and your visitors' conversions. Because there are so many features and so many pages, these sites tend to load very slowly, when in reality, local businesses don't have all that much information that they need to display. And the biggest and potentially most expensive part is that most of these website builders are not accessible and they are not responsive. There have been tons of lawsuits lately dropping down on small businesses who don't have accessible websites. This is a big problem, and these big builders don't even take that into consideration. So number 2 is the true cost of these website builders. Mostly it's because they give you too much of the wrong stuff. Not only are there comparison tables with hundreds of different options to compare and contrast, but builders like Squarespace are notorious for getting you hooked in by giving you a domain name free for a year and then hiking the price up to over 80% of the cost of what you would get if you just bought the domain yourself from someplace else. Then there are plugins that are bad for making your site vulnerable and having it hacked, and there is a lot to maintain and update, and you need a good technical background to even be able to do that on website builders like WordPress. Then, of course, they all feature these clunky drag and drop builders that are just not made for non-designers, and definitely not those that are not tech savvy. And finally, there are so many features that you will never use, but you will have to pay for. Most local businesses aren't doing a lot of blogging and they don't have a ton of pages. And so they're paying for all of that infrastructure, e-commerce features and integrations they're just never going to use. But there is something else out there that is absolutely blowing these other options out of the water. Here are just some of the testimonials of customers that have been making the switch. Tiffany says, "This has been the best website building experience I've had. I love the result and it was so easy to do for a non-techie like myself. It's exactly what I've been looking for my 6 years in my coaching business but have never found. I'm also so grateful for the responsiveness of support and openness to adding new functionality or features. I'm such a fan." Debbie says, "My son hooked me up with you. He's a computer engineer. I have experience with Wix, but I love you. I love small businesses and so happy we chose you. I've never seen such an easy touch business. I cannot thank you enough for your assistance. You and Ryan are amazing, and I'm so happy I chose Siimple to go on the website journey with. Thank you." Keith says, "First of all, I'd like to say that your customer service is on point. Such a rarity these days. I spent a lot of time exploring different things, but I really could have come here and had a simple landing page with a custom domain up and running in like 1.5 hours. This website and service is really well done." Austin says, "Thank you so much. You guys definitely have great templates. I'm a longtime user of Wix for my other business, and this blew them way out of the water, LOL." So let's jump right into it. This is Siimple, and it is exactly as it sounds. It's everything you need to launch a one-page website, But that one page is extremely powerful. If you're a service-based professional, it's more than enough to get you ranked in local search, to get you more clients, and to be so easy that no matter how bad you are with tech, I promise you can set this up yourself in under an hour. Let's take a look at how this all works. All you need to do is choose a template, fill in your content, and hit publish. Every single thing that you see here, you can try out completely for free. You can build your entire website. There's no 7-day free trial. It's no limit. You can just keep building and perfecting your site, and you only pay when you're ready to launch. And when you do pay, it's as little as $8 a month if you pay for the year. This is transparent pricing. There is nothing hidden, no hidden features, nothing hidden behind a paywall. There's no tricky, dark practices to get you to pay more or sign up. It's really just simple, ethical, small business practices. If you want to pay for the month and you don't want to have to pay for the whole year, you can do that too, and it's only $10. So let's take a look at how this works. All you do is jump into the templates and you can search for your business. So let's say you're a therapist. You can type in therapist or psychologist, and you'll see some options come up here. And I'm going to click on this one, for example. Here we are previewing this template. And everything you see here you can adjust, but just enough that you don't have to spend a lot of time fussing with it. So it's got everything you need, all of the really important sections. And this is based on decades of this company building actual websites for clients in these spaces. So they know what converts, they know what visitors want to see, and what makes for a great website. So you can list your services here, your education, a photo gallery, important testimonials. You can embed a map, links to your social media, frequently asked questions, and there's a contact form here so that inquiries go right to your email. And all you have to do is click on Start with this template. What that's going to do is load up that template into the Siimple editor. And then you just name your website. So let's call this Bloom Therapy. And then a short description. So let's say, helping you manage your anxiety and stress in a healthy way with convenient virtual sessions. Okay, then we click Create Site. And then in just a few seconds, this template is loaded up, and this is what it looks like. It's everything you saw in the preview, and this is how you go about editing it. There are really just 3 main areas to worry about: the page sections that you can add, the design, and the global settings. So if we click on sections, you'll see that you can add any number of these sections. Now you can only add each section once, but this is intentional because you probably don't need 2 team sections or, 2 form embeds or 2 about sections. It is really simplified so that you're not overdoing it and you only have the sections that are proven to actually make your website convert. So these sections are already loaded in for us, so we can explore these and we can click on edit. So the features, for example, when you hover over any of these sections, you can click on edit, and then you'll see that it's not a whole drag and drop interface. It's very simple. All you need to do is click here. You can click on this to just replace your icon and select something else. So let's say flower, for example. That's that easy to change. You can change the title. So let's say, are you anxious? And then you can type in your description here or use this handy little AI button, click on it and click Start Writing. And it's going to take the context of this whole site and write you a perfect little description of that. And this says, discover effective strategies and supportive virtual sessions designed to help you manage anxiety, etc. It's perfect. It writes it really well. You can link to an external site here. You can add a button and link that if you need to. And then you can duplicate these. You can drag and drop to move them around and change the order. Copy and paste, all very, very simple. So we're going to click Save Changes on that and then click Done. And the same thing applies to all of these sections. You can add in your services here, and you can add an image instead of an icon if you'd like. As you see here, we can just add in our pricing. We can add in another item. So let's say I wanted to change the image. I can click Replace here and then choose a stock photo, and all of these photos are built in, so you don't even have to download them, and the licenses are all included, so you don't have to worry about, getting in trouble for using images that you don't, that are copyrighted. And so let's say that we're going to use this photo right here. drops it in, perfectly sizes it, perfectly sets it in the layout. Then you click save. More details show you an expanded version of this, so if you have a longer write-up that you want to show, it's kind of like its own little page embedded in there. There's a timeline here, so you can have your education, your credentials, your licenses, your background. Things like the location section are so easy to use because you just put in your address and it pulls in the map for you and formats it and designs it. So this is how easy it is to use. Now, for the coolest part, if I come up here and I go to design, I can change the color, the entire color scheme, so I can make this red, and then I can change the accent color to match, so that's kind of like a pink red color. And I can go for, let's say, blue, same thing, and I can do like a contrasting color of green maybe. And then I can scroll down and you'll see that dark versions are here too. So if I want to do something a little bit more moody, we can have that as well. And so all of these color palettes are accessible. They are balanced and they are designed to show up well and to make sure that your site passes accessibility standards. And that's why there are only a select few and you just can't pick and choose whatever colors you want. So there are plenty to choose from. And then fonts, same thing. These are prepared fonts, they're pre-sized, so you can get any type of tone or personality that you want, but you're still guaranteeing that all of these are going to look good. You can add cool things like animations, so things fade in to the left and fade out and look like really extra professional. You can do things like change the corner radiuses of the buttons. You can change it from solid to outline style. And you can, make them square or just slightly rounded if you'd like. So not only can you change all these colors and fonts, and that only took me less than a minute, you can change out this entire theme. So if I decide that I don't want this kind of look to it, I can choose one of the other main base themes. This one's called Static, and it looks like this. It's a little bit of a different layout. There's kind of like an alternating row look here. And not only that, but there's another one here called Enso, and this is a really fun one with this little image scrim over it. And you can come here and you can restyle each of these sections as well. So if you want another kind of geometric pattern and shape here, this one's really popular. There's more like that. And what's so cool about this is that this is on a section per section basis. So my way of doing it is I kind of pick the main theme that I sort of like the layout of, and then I play around with each section to see if I want it to look a little bit different. Here I can restyle these boxes, and I can click on the actual edit features section and change the style, and I get a preview here of what these look like. So maybe I want to use this style that's not in a box, it's just kind of free floating. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You fill in your info, you add in your sections, and then you hit publish. Now you can connect your custom domain name, although this comes with a free domain name too if you want, so it's something like bloomtherapy.simple site. But here you can connect your own domain name no matter where you purchased it from, or you can buy one directly from Siimple. So you can come over here to domains and click on buy your domain and search for something. Like, let's say I'm going to search for liziscool.com. And then it will show you its availability. And I can buy this one for just $16 per year. And again, we're not locking you into anything like Squarespace. The price isn't going to change from year to year. There's no funny business. What you see is what you get. It's really transparent and honest. And I think that's what I love the most about Siimple, and the fact that if you run into any problems at all, you can talk to a real actual person immediately and get it all sorted out. So if you are a local business, you're a small business, a service-based professional, and you are tired of just comparing all of these website builders and trying them out and getting stuck and worrying about having to pay so much money for something that you're not going to be, using as a huge e-commerce site, then this is an absolute must try. You won't spend more than a few minutes testing it out and seeing if it's for you, and I think you're gonna love it. So please leave a comment. Let me know what small business you have, what you're working on, and what you're looking for. And if you do try it out, let us know in the comments.